Hey there, Scrappy friends. I am Shelly, the creative behind ScrappyLongStocking.com, and I am here today to do a video for a Scrap Along With Me video for my last page in January 2025 Project Life album. I have a 9x12. I pulled everything out of my album so that I could put it aside, have a little bit more room. I've got my plastic container here that has my ephemera, the kit from 2023, or I'm sorry, 2024, and the kit from 2025. I found these during the week, and I was considering for a little while putting them in my page regarding the inauguration, but I think I'm going to skip it because I looked back and I don't want to add those colors to the black and gold from last week. So I have my plan here, and it's just all I did was write out the I just went ahead and made a rough sketch of what my page looks, my 2 pages in the album look like, and then the photos for the week, and that's all I did. So I have those photos printed out, and they're in this along with the pieces of the kit that I wanted to use for this week. They were in the album. I went ahead and pulled them out. The other thing I want to try is I saw Linda from Linda Loves Creating. She had one of these the 6x8 page protectors with ephemera in it. I have these. So it's a coin. I think it's called a coin protector, but it's still the 2x2 pocket. I don't even know if you can really, there, you can kind of see it there. So they're still the 2x2 pockets. And they, I just already punched the holes to go in the album because I was going to do something different with them last year. And then I have my 2 pages here. So I thought I'd go ahead and just get started. So, oh, and this is a couple of things that happened that week. So this is the brochure. We had life group launch at my church, and my life group was in it on the front page. And then this was the offer letter for my promotion that I got. So I put them in this, it's a half letter size page protector, and I just punched the 2 of the holes larger so that they would fit in the 9x12 album. So I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to set this 2x2 page protector aside. And I've got my plan up here at the top of the screen so I can see it. And then I'll just put my pages here out of the way. And I'm just going to get started. So I think I just did my first voiceover video. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that again. And then, yeah, so if you like this content, before I put you on fast forward, if you like this content, go ahead and like and subscribe. Okay, so I put this one on 2.5 times fast forward because it was a little bit longer of a video, and I had a little bit of trouble here at the beginning getting things situated and sorted out once I pulled them out of the page protector. And I do see that the page protectors are off the screen there at the bottom, and I'm sorry about that. I usually try to get them in the middle of the screen, but I think this was a little bit harder because it wasn't in the album. And there was a lot of pictures where I hadn't fully decided what to do with. So, like that one was a screenshot from Facebook of a funny joke. And sometimes I like to include those in the album. And I wasn't exactly sure all of the products I was going to use. So I started sorting out through the 2025 kit to see exactly what I did want to use and what I didn't. And I was just trying to find the pieces of the kit that looked like the pieces of the kit that were in the page protector already. So the little tags and the banners, looking at things, trying to decide which pieces I want to use. Then still sorting through things, trying to match some of the sentiments to what I was thinking about the photos that I included. This week was a little bit of a busy week, and the temperature was a little bit higher, or I'm sorry, a little bit lower. And that there is the remnants of my 2024 Stories by the Month January kit. Just looking through that once again, just to try and see if there's any last pieces I can use up. I think I ended up using most of the pieces from the kit and that open story add-on. And I'm still using that very flimsy photo paper, so I need the cardstock to back it, so that it's easier to work with. So I just started grabbing that out at the beginning, creating some 3x4 backer cards for these photos that I have. I think I do like using the larger sheets of paper, so I decided intentionally not to get another package of the, I'm showing you there that it's a January details card that I got off of the Stories by the Month project page, I guess, or the classroom page is what it's called. And I went ahead and filled it out and resized it for this, for my purposes, and then changed the font on it by just covering up and retyping it so that I could use it every month in this album. So I can just recreate it, change some of the pieces that are there. And I decided to use this story tags just so that I can use them even though they're vellum. And I think I printed that journaling out on sticker paper. Just sorting through things again. I cut that tag down and then I realized, oh, I don't actually really know where I'm going to put it or what I'm going to do with it. So I figured that I might as well just start looking at the pieces and see where they should go, which really should have been my first step instead of trying to get started on cutting things apart. Oh, this is where I realized, oh no, I've been filming all these pieces so far with the page protectors slightly off screen. So just trying to figure out how to cut that piece of vellum apart too, because I don't really need a whole filler card there. And I did want to go ahead and include that bird. All of these pieces for this part of this, the pieces that I'm using for this week from this kit, I think they look weird. I'm not a really big fan, and I think that was part of the struggle because they didn't really support or help with the story that I was trying to tell. And that photo there that I just set down where it says Co-Ed Deep Dive, that's actually two different stories on a 3x4 card. And initially I thought I would leave them together, and eventually I decided not to because I didn't really have it in my brain how I would tell that story. And now I'm just sorting through and seeing what embellishments I want to try and use. And I think eventually I rearranged these photos again because I realized that I don't have any spots to put my journaling in. And there at the bottom of the screen, there's another screenshot of the weather where I realized I didn't have anywhere to put it in. So I needed to grab a page protector and try and figure that out as well. And there I chose an 8.5 by 11 page protector with 9 rectangular spots in it. It would be like just a smaller version of the 9 3x4s. And I realized, wait, eventually I decided to go with the I think it's the 6x12 page protector. It has a lot more white space in it, but I think it ends up working out. And so I didn't like how those were in there, and then I would have to cut down some other, I would have to cut down some more photos, and things weren't fitting quite right. So I was just trying to figure it out at this point. What am I going to do? What's going to fit? And I just pulled those off and set those aside because they were screenshots instead of part of the main story that I wanted to tell, just what was going on during the week. I think I like that smiley face on that January details card. And I'm trying to figure out how to use some of these pieces that I don't really like, but I wanted to use them. I guess looking back, I probably could have just given them away, all of those pieces, and used some pieces from my stash. But I wanted to give it a try, doing things that, using product that I didn't like. And right there, I decided to cut down that photo so that I could use, I think I tried to use that vellum piece, but it was just extra part of the photo that was unnecessary because it was a photo of leaves on the curb that I had. So that Saturday I had raked and mowed so that I could clear away the extra leaves in my front yard and my backyard, so that in the springtime I wouldn't have to do as much work. And so there you see me cutting down that vellum page, and then I position it along the top, and I cut down that other vellum story card or story tag to fit in the 3x4 pocket. And I think those were the last two, so I went ahead and decided to use both of those. And instead of cutting down the edges to make that tag fit, I went ahead and just put it in the pocket next to it. And then when I looked over on the left page, I saw that that one was in the middle of the page too. And I liked how it would be symmetrical in that fashion. And I was looking at that, I guess it's an emoji, the meh sort of face, because doing the lawn is not really all that much fun, but it's really something that needs to be done. And it's easier in Arkansas to do it in the winter than it is to do it in the spring and the summer. So I wanted to make sure I got it done before the rain came in the spring and before the heat came in the summer. So I didn't want to wait for all that. And so I'm putting that cut down tag piece in that pocket. And this is where I decided to start cutting down that photo. So I think I had originally cut it off so that one side was bigger than the other. And so I didn't think it looked right, being as the collage. So I need to get better with them since they have the white background. I need to get better with cutting them symmetrically so that they look right. And then I just stuck that one, the bird, in somewhere. And I still haven't noticed that I have that card or that photo in the top left spot in that pocket. But eventually I will. I noticed right there. that it's there. And then I realized, oh, what am I going to do with it? And so I'm just trying to stick things in the pocket as I make the decisions so that I don't forget the decision I make and then have to make it again. Because I do that sometimes. So I'm just putting the cards on the photos, putting them in the pockets. And I do try and put them across the page so that the beginning of the week is on the left and the ending of the week is on the right. So that's also part of the process. It's just something that I like to do because it makes sense to me to do it that way. And those two on that collage I left on the same one because I think they were both from Friday. And I believe that was part of the story that I wanted to tell on that story, that tag that was cut down. So I know I'm a little bit off again. Okay, and so here I think I finally make the decision about what to do, or I'm about to, with that one, that photo. And that photo is just a screenshot of the tickets that I purchased a couple of weeks before. Let's see. I think that one is just some photos of food that I had eaten during the week. And so I went back to that one, and then I was liking the stripes on the page, and initially I had thought, oh, maybe I'll leave the stripes in the top left exposed, and then I can carry the stripes around the rest of the page with that Allie Edwards striped card. And right now I can't remember if I do or not. So we'll both be surprised to see what I actually did in this one. And that one I liked closer to the top. I think I was, now I go ahead and move the rest of them so that they're all of a similar fashion. So there's the white blank spots at the bottom, and then there's the red star cut off pieces at the top. Yeah, so there I'm trying to think and decide what exactly should I do with that stripy card. Yeah, and here's where I decide to go ahead and cut it in half. Or maybe, it looks like maybe I just cut a 1-inch strip. So 1-inch strip on that. And it wasn't quite exactly lined up. And then it was really cool because it fit just right on that card. I didn't actually measure it, so I was pretty happy about that. And there I'm trying to figure out what to do with that piece. Cutting more cardstock backers, not really. I know I'm going to need them because I have those other photos off the edge. Or I guess it's off to the side where it's not on camera. Cut another one of those strips. And with that one, I just wanted one on each side so that they would be symmetrical again. Still wasn't, I don't think there's a spot available for that one. Just making decisions. Oh, this is where I went, and I've decided on the 6x12 page for those extra photos that I had put off to the side. So now I also think I was looking, so this is the sticker and a screenshot of my walking. And so I did a 40-40 challenge, 40 miles in 40 days while reading the Bible.
And so I wanted to make sure I captured it sometime in January, because I began it the Monday of the first week in January, and then I finished it February 9th. And I didn't want to do it when I finished it, but I didn't want to do it, I didn't have space for it in any of the other weeks. And initially I thought I was going to put the ephemera page here. So I thought it would make sense, because I was going to include some of the ephemera, which is that bookmark over there to the right. And I ended up not having room for it, so I had to change where I put that as well. And so initially I wanted to put one of those screenshots of my walking steps and my stats for the week in each week of 2025, which was why I have them in a couple of these weeks in January. Well, once I canceled my paid subscription to Fitbit, I think is the one I have, it stopped sending me those weekly emails. So I don't have them anymore. And that's fine. It's just for January. So again, I was trying to figure out how to use some of these bits and pieces, some of the flags, moving that around. I was really glad that I left the backer on, because that's a sticker, that polygon is a sticker, and I left the backer on. And I wanted to put that banner there, because I forget what it says, but it made sense to me to leave it there. I think it says something about being in progress. And now I'm still trying to figure out what to do. So just trying to figure out where it should go. So with that thin paper, it's much harder to pull it off and make adjustments, because it tears just like it does with copy paper. So here I decided to shorten it so that it would fit on that right hand side, because it looked weird when it was hanging over the edge, and I didn't want it to be a flat strip. So I just cut down the middle. I've seen a couple of other people do that. And you just cut down the middle, and then you angle towards your middle cut, and you can mostly mimic what the original flag ends were supposed to look like. And that's a screenshot of a DNA chain and a baby and knitting hands. And the Bible verse is, you knit me together in my mother's womb. And when I saw it on Instagram, I loved it, and I wanted to take a screenshot of it. And if I could find it as art, I would probably purchase it and hang it in my house, because it's just such pretty art. It's like a watercolor. It was very pretty. This is another screenshot that was an encouraging, note on the probably Instagram, and it says attachment is not connection, and the bare minimum is not effort. And that is a lesson that I've had to learn recently for myself the hard way, which is the way many of us learn. And so I just put a brad in there. I had already stuck it down, and I forgot. I pulled the brads out and totally forgot anyway, and then had to go and get them, or pull it back up and put it in there. So I also have the colorful brads. That one there is pink, and I use those sometimes when I can find one that coordinates. I don't really like the brass ones, and I don't have any mini ones, so I have to find where those are sourced at as well. I think some people have said they've gotten them at Michael's, but I just haven't gone. Every time I go to a craft store, I spend so much money. So I don't go. I'm probably not the only one, but that's how I curb some of my overspending at craft stores. And my trimmer cuts crooked every so often, and it annoys me. And I think here I just wanted to use those banners up too, and just using up some of the pieces in the kit and trying to space them out so they look right. And the trick that I've had for myself to cut straight with my scissors is that I use the hand that's holding the photo. I use that hand to balance my scissors as well, because my hands still shake a little bit. It works quite well, so that I can generally cut straighter when I do it that way. It's not always super straight, but it does much better than if I'm not using that hand to balance things out. And there I wanted to use that extra scrap because I used the other extra scrap on the other side, so that I think I moved things around a little bit so that that stripe and the stripe at the bottom aren't on the same side. And trying to use another one of those banners, see if any of them match up with the sentiments on any of them match up with the oh, I took it apart for some, because I wanted to put it on there, so I just put it along the bottom. And I think I repositioned that photo as well, maybe? Yes. I reposition it so it's at the bottom, overlapping that pink, just like the others are overlapping at the top. And then I believe I had run out of those scraps, those strips, and so I decided to add on this banner the same way I did on the other page, just to try and bring that across the page as well. And since this was the last week in January, I just tried to use as much of the pieces as I could. And so I put that along the cold weather piece there, because I think that screenshot showed that overnight it was going to be below freezing. And in the South, you have to drip your faucets a lot, and I don't like it because it's very wasteful. I think this is the 5th time I've picked that piece up and tried to use it somewhere on this page, because I know that I probably won't want it in my stash. So here are some more of those pieces, looking through again, seeing if there's anything else I want to add on. And that blue is the same color of blue, but I don't think it looks right with the rest of the pieces that I've chosen for this kit. And I'm looking at the sticker sheet, trying to see what I can use. Oh, I start moving everything around so that the smiley faces aren't both on the same side. And now I think I'm getting ready to move that so those two stripy pieces aren't on the same side. And I thought it might be good to use another one of those smiley faces, looking at the embellishments that are in that box. Didn't see anything that I liked. Still trying to figure it out. Looking at the page, flipping it back and forth. It's been a long time hemming and hawing over this page, and I think it was just because I didn't like it. Those are some tags that were in the December daily kit, and I didn't use them in the December daily kit. And then up there at the top left, I just found a random card that I had left over from the Foodie Story kit from last year. And I had just set it aside, so I just grabbed it and was like, okay, well, that'll fit in that spot. It's quite random. I don't know if the colors match, but I was like, okay, well, even if the colors don't match, I don't care. And then I used the red smiley face there. I thought it fit really well with the ing phrases there. Pull that out and go ahead and stick that on there so I can use it up. Oh, I didn't realize my remote was there. I watched TV while I put this on silent because it takes so long. And I had to go and get my tweezers so that I could pull those stickers off and be able to see without my fingers in the way. And that yellow color goes fairly well with, on that tag, goes fairly well with the yellow color in this kit. I think I don't decide to use it, and I don't remember why I pulled it out. I think I wanted to see if I wanted to put that smiley face on there, the red smiley face. And I saw Linda cover up that weird eyeball with word phrase stickers. And so I thought, oh, well, I'll try that too. And I think I sort through a bunch of stickers. I move it around a little bit because it got lost in that star, and really it makes it a little too busy. And eventually I finally do pick a word phrase sticker. Eventually I do. And I'm still not a fan of the way it turned out, but I left it anyway. Clearly, I've spent a really long time looking for a word phrase sticker because this is on 2.5 times fast forward. Reading them and thinking and looking at it. There. So I covered up the eyeball with a word phrase sticker. And I pick another one and use that one and another word phrase sticker. And I just use the word phrase sticker from the same, set, so that it would carry across the layout. And I think that one said something about carpe that diem, because that bottom one is the Route 66 Museum over in Oklahoma. And the story associated with it is about going on an adventure and exploring Oklahoma. And so since I did it on the photo below, I wanted to do it on that photo as well so that they would be symmetrical again. And I finally pick one for that heart because those eyeballs are weird. And I couldn't figure out which way it was up, but eventually I have to figure it out and pick a sticker. I think that one says something about fresh start or January stuff. Initially, I had picked one that said heal because the food is a little bit more healthy this week that I was eating, because I'm trying to get my body a little bit healthier. I picked up one of those weird birds for the top of that. Kind of wish that I could take it off. I think that one says let's go. And another word phrase sticker on that for some symmetry. And so all of those now have them on there. And I think I was getting ready to look for more of them, more of those places for those heart stickers, but I really don't like them. So I just picked something so that it could be there, and then another word phrase sticker to pull that same treatment on in another spot. And I just decided I'm done with these stickers. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But I just left it there because it would tear the paper when I pulled it off. And so I said, okay, well, that's it now. I've got to be done with it. And I'm starting to put some of the pieces away. And then I have to turn off the camera to type out the journaling for those two story cards and cut up all of the little pieces of ephemera that are there in my basket for the 2x2 squares.
Okay, friends, so I've gotten everything printed out, all the journaling written out. I turned off the camera for the journaling because I don't really think it's very interesting to sit and watch somebody write, and it took me a little while. So I pulled out my journal or my planner. I pulled out my planner to get my menu from this week, and then I pulled out my journal to be able to write down some thoughts from the week about how I was feeling and the pictures. I wrote journaling on these tags, and then I wrote journaling on this card, and this card has just like a bulleted list of some small things that I did during the week to give a little bit more context to the photos. I did do the ephemera page, and I put it back at the beginning because I had to put this insert in here, and there was already this insert, and I didn't like to have 3 inserts in the middle of there. I thought it looked weird. And this insert, the 6x12 page, was the same width as the 8.5 by 11 pocket page. So yeah, I'll put it all the way at the beginning, and you'll see that when I do the flip through for January. So thanks for being here. I hope you got some good ideas. I hope you enjoyed watching me put this week together. I enjoyed hanging out with you. So if you want to see more, go ahead and hit the like button and the subscribe button, and the algorithm will let you know, or will show you my videos, and you will let the algorithm know that you like them. So I'll see you around soon. Bye, friends.